I'm Libby Emmons. I am here from the Postmillennial. I am with Missy Robertson, a Brave Books author. We are here in the green room at the Library of Congress for Kirk Cameron Brave Books Day at the Library. And I'm very happy to have Missy here, who's an author with Brave Books. You brought a copy of your book, which is great.
I'll do. Yes.
Because you're a family. I think it's so amazing to be here at the Library of Congress after everything that culture has gone through, that Kirk Cameron has gone through, that Brave has gone through. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about being here at the library?
This is a huge honor. So I heard about this just a few weeks ago from one of the Brave guys and told him, I said, what? You're doing what now? I would love to be there. So that's kind of how that happened. So, you know, to be at the most, my daughter calls this the most beautiful building in all of the country. It's her favorite building. And she's a big reader. And so this is the first time that I have been here, and it is a huge honor to be invited by the Department of Education, their Center of Faith. I didn't even know there was a Center of Faith.
I didn't either.
So what an amazing revelation that alone is. And then to be invited to read the book on their behalf. Amazing. I'm super pumped. Yeah.
So you're going to be reading because you're my family to the kids upstairs?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your impetus for writing this book?
This is a wonderful book. It is really the story of what God did for us. So, and I like kind of relate it to, if you'll see the cover, the parents are lions and he's a tiger. So what's the story there? Well, he's adopted. And so am I into the family of God because I'm not a Jew. And the Lord adopted me into his family. And this book is the kind of like the same situation in a childlike form of messing up and doing things that you're not supposed to be doing and disappointing your parents who sacrificed for you and who make your life what it is. And he got in trouble and his life was at risk and his parents end up saving his life. And his question, which I'll be shocked if I make it through without crying, because when I think about what God did for us and what I do every day to disappoint him, it's the same question.
It's so easy. It's so easy to screw up as human beings.
Oh, goodness.
It's rough.
Yes. And to know that you're disappointing the one person, not only did he create you and knew me before I was ever conceived and born, but he knew the plan he had for me when I did mess up, I was going to be taken care of every single time and forevermore because he wanted a relationship with us.
Right.
And so in the book, and he says, Valor's the little tiger, and he says, but I did so many things to disappoint you today. Why do you still love me? And the father says, because you're my child. That's it. That's all we have. It's because you're my child. And I think about that with my own children. Of course I would do the same exact thing.
Right.
And how God set up the family dynamic is exactly how they are as a family. God and his son and his spirit are there to comfort and guide us and counsel us, and it's just perfection. We couldn't dream it up if we tried. And yet he is walking alongside us every single day. He's here right now. He's going to help me get through it without bawling my eyes out.
I always think of the when God says, you know, don't worry. You see how I clothe the lilies of the field.
Yes.
Wouldn't I do the same for you?
Absolutely. Yes.
What has the response been at book story hours across the country for this? And
you know, they've been amazing. I was actually with Kirk a couple of years ago in Hendersonville, Tennessee, which was very conservative, and we were booed and were very rude to by the staff.
By the staff?
The library staff.
Oh my goodness.
But there were hundreds and hundreds of families waiting in line, and it was cold. It had started, a cold front had moved in, it was rainy, did not deter them. These families were coming in to hear these books and to support this movement that Brave Books is doing, this See You at the Library movement. And the staff are the ones who did not want us there. And I didn't realize what was going on at the time, but Kirk had been going through it for a little bit longer than I had. And so, but now to be here on Capitol Hill, to do it at the most beautiful library ever, it's like it's really like a dream. When I heard, I was like, this is like a dream for any, when you're being spit on and you're being persecuted, and then for God to lift you up and raise you up for one reason, we're going to glorify Him today.
I love that. How there's been a huge change in culture since that moment in Hendersonville, for sure. Do you feel that in the rest of culture and not just here? I mean, here we are. We're like at the Library of Congress, and even though we're downstairs in the green room, we're sort of at the top of the world here, you know? And culture has been so confused for like several years, you know, when it comes to messaging about how the family is not important, you know, messaging about how individualism is more important, or atheism is important, or, you know, trying to remove the concept of morality from God. And I don't know how you find morality without God. I just
There
don't,
is none.
like, there's no basis for that.
No, there's not.
But there's such a huge change, and you know, you could certainly speak to that, but there's been such a huge change in culture. Do you think that's here to stay?
That's a good question. You know, the devil's very powerful, and he has a lot of warriors on his side, and he does not want us to be here right now. So I think if we could look at the spiritual warfare that was happening around this building right now, it might scare us to death. But we know who the ultimate Savior is, and the ultimate King. And He's going to take care of His children. There's no doubt about that. What saddens me is that the Lord's plan is in motion. The Lord had all of this in His thoughts, in His brain, Himself, to protect us because He wants a relationship with us. It's up to us to accept it or not. And so many people don't understand that He is a loving God. He's not doing this out of complete obligation. He could have called 10,000 angels, honestly.
Sure, yeah.
And said, you know, God, what you're asking me is just a little bit too rough for me as a human to go through. I've changed my mind. But He did it. He chose to die for us anyway, and then be raised again so that we can live forever in perfection.
I always think of that in terms of before Easter, when you say, and you know, when I'm Catholic and you go to church and the priest says, Christ went willingly into His passion. And I often think about that word passion in terms of what Jesus went through. When we think of passion, we think of something fulfilling and meaningful and kind of wonderful.
Yes.
You know? You have passion to raise your children. You have passion for your spouse. You have passion for your art form, you know, or the work that you feel called to do. And to call what Jesus went through a passion, it almost reframes it. It does reframe it as something that's not just about fulfillment and love, but something that involves great difficulty and risk, and can involve suffering as well.
Well, even especially, like, I have 3 natural-born children. I have 2 that I took in that are not mine, like were not mine, did not come from this body, came from another woman's body. And I would do anything for them just like my other 3 children. So that's what He's doing for us. And He loves us passionately.
And it hurts. It must hurt because we're always doing the wrong thing, just like in your story.
If America, if parents could understand that they could be guided by the Creator of the universe to put this into their children's hearts and minds, and to know a loving God, not just one that just wants us to follow rules and be punished, you know, and I think it's all about relationship. It's about relationship. Think about our relationship with our children. I would do anything for any of them, lose my life for them if I had to. And it mirrors that. That's why this book is so important, I think, to understand the concept of what God did for us. It's because the Father almost lost His life to save His Son.
And He'd do it again.
Again and again and again.
Every time, yeah.
Yes, so yes, it's a beautiful book. The illustrations are beautiful too. The story is really, really beautiful. And, you know, I just think about, now that I'm older and I understand, I have grandchildren now.
Oh, congratulations. That's so wonderful.
I have 3, and I just see how their brains are just soaking everything up. It's almost like I am from a distance. I'm a generation removed, and I get to enjoy all of that and not be responsible for it.
And you get to watch your kids be parents. That must
it's
be
amazing.
So cool.
It is amazing because they are fantastic parents, but I can just see their little brains learning and being knit together and being formed, and I want them to have Jesus and the Spirit and God and what He did for us knitted into every little blood vessel that's being formed in their brain right now, so that it is in their core being, that there will be, I mean, there's going to be rebellion. That's why we need Jesus. But for them to come home to Him.
Well, and
be
Jesus
just as
rebelled too.
passionate.
I mean, he ran off in the temple, freaked out his parents.
That's right. That's right. There is some separation anxiety there for sure. But you know, I want to say it. I want to tell the story over and over and over again. I hope that there's people here today who've never heard that before, because I want them to hear it now and start really building on that and understanding who God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit are.
That's the story for all of us.
Every single one of us.
Yeah.
No one can escape that story.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sure hope not.
No,
You know?
no.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you
Sure.
for talking to me today, and thank you for sharing your
Yes,
book.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yes.
Thanks.